The song is called Throwing Rocks. It's the first track on my EP, From the Road, which came out in June. And I hope you enjoy it. My name's Emily Gilbart. I'm a musician from Dufferin County, specifically from Mono. When I first got serious, like I said, is when I moved here, and I didn't know anything about the arts community in Orangeville or the surrounding area. I didn't know where to start, and I think a big thing for me was going out to local coffee houses, actually, and I was really lucky that that was an option for me in Orangeville. So I think the first one I ever went to was at Second Cup, and also at the Edge, and I was able to just try out different material. I was able to meet people, and people were so welcoming and kind to me. You know, just like a 13, 14-year-old girl coming out and singing stuff that she wrote super nervously. So it was a really good way to build confidence. And I think through doing that, I had some really nice people notice something in me, I guess, and give me a chance. And I got my first gig through playing at open mics, and slowly started to meet more and more people in the community. Yeah, and everyone's just been so welcoming. This morning is freaking my little brother out. He really hates when we start fighting. He'll run right out of the house. I think I'm inspired by a lot of different types of music. Right now I'm super interested in Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, Adrienne Lenker, very much indie folk, alternative kind of music, and especially a lot of women musicians. So that's been what's inspiring me lately. And I think that the genre it's partially what comes naturally to me, and partially what I am interested in listening to at any given time. So I think the acoustic style, the folk, some country elements is what's really natural to me. And whenever I move away from that, I always find myself coming back to it just naturally. I listened to a lot of country music as a kid, a lot of folk music. And so I'm just always pulled to that. And I try to, try new things, but also be true to myself. And I think that's usually what comes out of it. What a relief when the sky starts falling in little pieces on the roof. I only wish it would come down to the ceiling and rip this house right off its roots. I think it is difficult. It's more difficult the more you think about it. When I first started, the first song I ever wrote just came out in like pure angst about the situation that I was in. I was frustrated, I was sad, and it just ended up kind of sort of flowing out a little bit once I got some simple chords. And it was a simple song lyrically and musically, but it came out easily. And I think for a long time that's the way I wrote, was getting super emotional or feeling this build of creative desire to come up with something, and I would get it all out in an hour or two. But then once you start making music professionally, it gets more, I guess, difficult, because you're thinking about, okay, how much have I written in the past few months? Is this a song that people are going to like? Is it something that is true to me? And once you start having those kind of factors to consider, it becomes more difficult. And I had to shift the way that I write a little bit. And so sometimes I go from just, pure emotion and it all comes out. And then other times it's slowly chipping away at something, getting an idea, coming up with something and not being able to get past it, and just keeping it recorded, thinking about it, and then coming back to it and finishing things more slowly and more intentionally. So I guess it's a little bit of both. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard.
Just like it robbed me of my innocence,
just like it took away my youth. So stop throwing rocks up at my window. I can hear you just fine. Music has had a really profound impact on my life in that capacity. I've always struggled with mental health on and off, especially when I was a kid, and I found that it was hard to, I guess, express what I was feeling, express what I was thinking, and not feel judged or feel afraid. And I think that music is such a powerful medium for expressing things that are too difficult to say verbally or too difficult to say just in conversation without the support of that creative framework, I guess. And it also is helpful because when you're listening to music, it's like you can feel what the artist is feeling and you can kind of relate it to your own experience. And it makes you feel less alone, I guess, in that. And, you know, whether the music has lyrics or it's just instrumental, you can feel what the intention was behind it, and everyone can feel that. And I think there's just something about it that has the power to transcend verbal expression. And through my work, doing my undergrad at Laurier, I've been able to work with a lot of amazing clients and people, and see the ability that music has to transcend, you know, things like disability or all kinds of difficulty. You know, someone who is not able to verbally express what they're going through. Maybe they don't speak at all, but they can tap into music, because I think that all people have an innate musicality in them. You know, humans are the only animal that can fully comprehend music in all its forms, like melody, rhythm, harmony, all of that stuff. And we all have an innate ability to understand it. So regardless of, you know, like age, ability, wealth, anything like that, we can connect through music. It's like a medium to, almost like a buffer a little bit between us. And I think that, I don't know, yeah. From down in the yard, I know you've been crying, but I can't console you. Just know that I would if I could lift up my arms. I don't know, I think a lot of what I do with my music is just talking about my experiences. And so, you know, maybe it could help people if they're in the same situations as me. I think it could be helpful for young girls. I think that's something that's really rewarding for me, is if I go out and play and there's, you know, little kids, but especially young girls, they're so excited to see a woman playing music and being, you know, sort of the front person or you know, writing and performing. And it's like, there are a lot of strong female musicians, but I think that we're definitely the minority in terms of solo artists. I think it's nice for them to see that, and I hope that if young girls see me making music, that they can think, okay, you know, I can do that too. You know, I can pursue a career in music. I can learn guitar. I can, you know, I can write, I can sing. And I think that's a really positive thing. And then also just sharing my experiences as a queer artist, I think, you know, helping to normalize that and hopefully, I guess, showing young people that you can write about that stuff, you can be honest about that stuff, you can be accepted by the community. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that I do too much in terms of activism in my music. I'd like to do more of that. But I hope that it has at least helped some people. Stop throwing rocks